out of anybody who was of the highest level possible, he was the one guy who sat there and watched everything, gave anybody who wanted or asked feedback. Like, he was the leader. He was like the ultimate team player.
Oh, you didn't, bro. EC3's comments about John Cena wanting to go here went viral, ladies and gentlemen.
It
Created a lot
is.
of buzz. It went a lot of buzz. Lots of buzz. Lots of buzz. Any other John Cena stories that you can share, EC3, to continue to earn your keep here,
Oh, now here's, do I keep my job or do I stay at the table?
High stakes here, Digger. High stakes, man.
Like, I mean, as a person, I've been very fortunate to be able to call him a friend, and he's been very cordial and welcoming and a good dude to me when times he didn't need to be so. So, like, it's hard to say, hey, any cool stories hanging out with your buddies? Yeah, I have tons. As far as relevant to maybe capture that kind of, like, inside information that's not really hurting anybody, because that was a real thing. I can't think of anything particular because that was a big topic. He should turn heel. We were talking about that for 12 freaking years. I can't just say that out of anybody who was of the highest level possible, he was the one guy who sat there and watched everything, gave anybody who wanted or asked feedback. Like, he was the leader. He was like the ultimate team player. And he's working through, Lord knows what's going on physically because he's working so much. And then mentally too, being on top and having that, and then having a personal life, I don't know, man. He was an inspiration, really, and just like having to do not having to, but choosing to do the Make-A-Wishes. Like, I visited hospitals. We did one for NWA this weekend. It was crushing. And to be able to do that and, give those kids everything you can. It's cool, man. As far as dirty, weird stories, I mean,
I got something for you. Let me pitch this for you.
He loves jokes. He loves jokes.
That's it. We'll save that for you in the PP Cam, the Phallus Files, ladies and gentlemen.
He would love it. He would.
So John Cena has been, to the fans' eye, Digger, John Cena has been notorious for talking about hoe and a hatchet. He's been notorious for burying talent by not putting them over and having the dub on them and just kind of derailing, well, not kind of, so significantly derailing any type of momentum. Someone like a Rusev, Alex Riley, Ryback, Wade Barrett, those are four that I can just think of off the top of my head that had some momentum going with them, and they lost to John Cena and it just tanked. Yeah. What do you think about that, EC3, as far as John Cena, beating those guys who had a momentum, who, could have could have had a really, really world title type of push? And do you think John Cena could have, or do you know any stories of him trying to change, what was going on? Why was John Cena that type of that person used to just damper and just squelch their momentum?
Yeah, like I can tell you, because he would hear these speculations and rumors of himself, and he's like, I only did what I was told to do. So therein lies, there was no thwarting and backstabbing and political maneuvering. As far as I know, like, what do I know? Like, I know what I'm told, that hampered those particular pushes. The Alex Riley thing is really an interesting scenario. I also think, all right, with like a Wade and a Ryback and a Rusev, these guys had big moments in big matches, and you don't necessarily need the big win to carry forward. Sometimes you need the big challenge to overcome by suffering the defeat there, coming back around, utilizing that to become the guy to beat him. And I think Wyndham, Bray Wyatt, is that example because he had the match with him, and everyone was, oh, John's on, he's killing Bray Wyatt's push, he's killing this, he's killing that. No, what he did was give him a story to come back to years later with a way hotter character, a way more unique thing that John probably couldn't wait to get into an angle with when he did The Fiend. And then
so a fan would say with that EC3, that's the exception to the rule. What do you think about that?
The exception to the rule is just because you're hot doesn't mean you're destined for stardom. If you cannot accept that defeat, and I never had that opportunity. I could tell you what, if John Cena beat me at WrestleMania, I would still be a fucking top guy. So, sorry. But, just because you lose one doesn't mean you can't come back and get it later. And sometimes that takes reinventing yourself. Sometimes that takes grinding harder. Sometimes that takes accepting that defeat, knowing that you're not ready, because you might not be ready. And they might not be ready. They might not have been. And then what happens if you exploit your top guy to 4 or 5 people who don't necessarily resonate once they're away from him? Then you've killed your draw. So you have to protect that with all costs when you have something that unique. So I'm sure if he felt, dude, if Wade beats me, he's going to be on top for 10 years, he would have jumped right in. But sometimes these guys have to prove it, and that's just one step. It's never done. Like, your work is never done getting to the top. Then once you're on top, that's when the real work starts.